My God. All right, Gifty,
She's not coming to work today, so we're happy.
No.
Well, we'll see.
No. She deserves a break. Listen, you deserve a 2-week break, which is very difficult for you to take. But you work too hard, Gifty. Take a break.
Oh. Mama, okay, I have a Ghanaian Times newspaper.
Please go ahead, Gifty.
And I miss you all. Okay, so Ghanaian Times, I believe that's the only paper I have actually for today. We've already run out of time anyway. So it has a banner headline about the Electoral Commission. It says the EC exceeds targets, registers over 15 million voters so far. And there is a picture of Madam Jean Mensah, the EC boss. That story is on page 12 of the newspaper. And I'm sure of victory in December polls. The story is...
Gifty, it's a holiday. Talk to your internet provider. Whilst we try to stabilize her connection, let's bring the Daily Graphic newspaper. Gifty would continue with the Times and finish it when her connection is a bit stable. Front page of the Daily Graphic news paper. Defense Minister, NDC trade accusations over voters registration, and that's coming on the back of Esiedun Ketia's outburst. But of course, that was accompanied by series of videos, if you like. Yesterday, the Defense Minister spoke to the media. Subsequently, the minority also made their positions known, and certainly Esiedun Ketia is not keeping quiet over this matter. Nation pays tribute to Founders Day today. Professor Aaron Michael Quay, Speaker of Parliament. There's something happening later today in commemoration of the Founders Day. There's a public lecture. It will be organized under the auspices of the Ministry of Information at 4 p.m. in Accra. And the speaker, Professor Aaron Michael Quay, will be taking Ghanaians down memory lane as he delivers the lecture at the event. So that's how come the headline comes with his picture on the front page. And then this one, President on Wheels, first locally assembled VW vehicles unveiled, Mobile Development Center to monitor standards. So on Monday, yesterday, the president unveiled the first VW vehicles assembled in the newly established VW assembly plant here in our country. All the related conversations to that captured in the paper today. And let's see what's in the center spread. Well, it still has to do with free SHS. It looks like the states is willing to tell it all with regards to the free SHS. So they've got there are supplementary pages in the graphic again today, as it was yesterday in the graphic, telling the story of the free SHS policy on the back page. 1.7 million electricity consumers to benefit from COVID-19 relief. 4 months ban on hunting takes effect. The Wildlife Division of the Forestry Commission has imposed a 4-month ban on hunting, capturing and destroying of wild animals in the country's forest. Known as the closed season, the annual ban on hunting for all wild animals except the grass cutter, which can be hunted under license, will last from August 1 to December 1 this year, in conformity with the Wildlife Conservation Regulation 1971. So we even have a law on this. Gifty, are you back? Maybe not, Roland. Let's see the Daily Dispatch.
All right, so let's do
I believe so.
Yeah, it's true. You just jostled all of us out of our dullness. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to make this real quick so that it doesn't happen again. Okay.
No, don't worry. Well,
so
we're with you for the long haul. Go.
So the EC has exceeded its targets. The story I was telling you about, I'm sure, victory, President Akufo-Addo in his face mask, and woman who allegedly murdered 2 children to undergo psychiatric test. That story is on page 3. We did that yesterday, Mama Pia Roland. The back page of the Ghanaian Times, Togbe Apede calls for reunification of Ghana and its neighbors. That story is by Alberto Mario Noretti in Leklebi, Kwame. And then the story also there is Nkwanta South Assembly supports PWDs with 10 wheelchairs, 10 tricycles. Great story, but always happens you know, when there's about to be an election. So that's it. That's all that I have today. At least I've been able to review the
Gifty, they always say the devil is in the detail.
Okay, Gifty, stop dancing. Just hold it there. Roland will bring the daily, the daily guide, and then we'll get into details of some of the stories. Roland?
I think there's a witch on your no, but that witch will not be stoned because it's something that we have to condemn in this country, and we are doing that. Let's go to the daily guide. The daily guide has on the front page the president unveiling the VW cars. The good thing is that we carried it right here on JoyNews on Monday. Good one. I'm told the cars are affordable. I haven't seen their price list yet, so we'll do that. Fire in NDC over Hoy attacks on Rawlings. That's a good. It's been feisty between the two. Then I would say among other personalities, because Dan Agbodapi issued a good weathered letter from his office. Lots of memories from the days of PNDC as well. Defense Minister challenges Mahama on voter suppression claims. EC exceeds targets. Kafaba witch killer in court. I brought you that update, highlights this morning. On the back page, we're told that our player who plays for Tianjin Teda. Oh, okay, no. He's a winger. Draw against. Okay, so he plays for Tianjin Teda, and they visited Sushu Sports Center to play against Chongqing Levang, and they drew. It's called the Champong. Back page. The Champong shined despite injury. Well, he's injured, but he still played. So, and apparently, the sports journalists are it again. One of my favorite players for the Black Star, Dede Ayew, Andre Ayew, 30 years now. Apparently, PSG is said to be dangling 5 million euros before the date. I'm not sure this is true, but Charlie, I'll give the benefit of the doubt to Kwame Owusu Eduenum, who is the one who filed the story. They do this to make sure they hype up the players. We all do that. Communication is good. Get me Coutinho, Thomas Partey, and Willian, Arsenal coach. This one to coughing footballers to see red. And you know that the things that sports people do on the pitch, they spit, they cough, they remove flames.
Roland, stop. It's too early.
Oh, no. I'm only saying the words. I haven't demonstrated. I can demonstrate for you. Coughing. And then, this, okay. All right. That'll be it.
What are you hiding?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Charlie, can we go on?
Yes,
Gifty,
we can.
What's your pick? Mine has got to do with the defense minister coming to the defense of those who...
Do I have a pick? I'm not sure.
Gifty, I think you need to rest. No. Something is telling us go and sleep because the connection is still... but Roland, you mentioned the defense minister. We'll go on to myjoyonline.com pretty shortly, and then we will tell you what's making headlines there. But a bit about this story, the defense minister, NDC trade accusations over voters registration. I'm reading from page 43, the Daily Graphic newspaper. It says the Minister of Defense, Dominic Nitiu, and the National Democratic Congress have traded accusations over the alleged prevention of some people to register in the last phase of the mass voters registration exercise in the Banda area of the Bono region. While Mr. Nitiu explained that soldiers were sent to the area by the Regional Security Council to enforce an agreement reached between the NPP and the NDC on the busing of people to registration centers. The NDC, led by its General Secretary, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, and the ranking member on Defense Committee of Parliament, James Argalga, said the acts by the military were meant to allegedly prevent NDC supporters from getting their names onto the electoral roll in order to give undue advantage to the NPP in the December 7 polls. I think one thing seemed clear, even though we don't have the evidence of that. It looks like there was a certain agreement, Roland and Gifty, that was reached, obviously because of the killing of that young man, that tragic incident. And based on that, the Regional Security Council on the ground decided to take some actions.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if they all agreed necessarily on what is happening, mounting of roadblocks and preventing people from registering.
Okay.
And the people who are seen in vehicles, because, you know, Roland, and you don't want to quickly jump to a conclusion because you've seen a video of people sitting on a track, because we know that sometimes you have to travel a little distance to find a registration center, correct?
Yes, for those in the hinterland. Yeah.
So that's why I don't want to necessarily quickly, because I've seen a certain video, jump to the conclusion that.
Well,
you know.
you see, I don't know. I wish that Gifty, because Gifty is the head of the defense
security desk.
Sorry, security desk.
So maybe Gifty has seen the agreement.
There's a statement that the Ghana Armed Forces issued, and this one is dated, I believe, yesterday, and we didn't carry it until the defense minister. The defense minister had that interaction with Evans, and then other sections of the media, and it was signed by Colonel Agrikwashi. He did indicate that the RegSec had agreed, in that agreement we had the signees being Joe Dankwa, who apparently is a candidate for the NPP in the Banda constituency, and then also the member of parliament for the area, Ahmed Ibrahim, also being a signatory. And they had agreed that the RegSec will give necessary security to the Banda constituency and the entire region before, during, and after the December elections.
Okay, what does that constitute? Like, what comes together to constitute
so
that
I just
agreement?
want to apprise ourselves of what the content is based on the statement. And the two parliamentary candidates should stop busing people to the registration centers. If indeed they were ordinary residents, they should go there on their own volition. Now, political parties should educate their agents at the registration centers to fill challenge forms in challenging people whose citizenship or residency they doubt. This one too, they agree too. Now, the third one, that no physical violence should be used in preventing people from registering. They agree too, the third one. And now the fourth one, that the two candidates should pledge their support to ensure peace in the constituency by signing the agreement offered by RegSec. Now, you can clearly see that you're not supposed to bus people. So if that was the agreement, in what way and what discussions preceded this before this was signed? All right. Now, the two candidates also said that they agreed, if you have any concerns about any individual to be registered, you use the process. And we've seen variedly people being prevented from registering.
As for the physical,
and the process not being adhered to.
Didn't we see that in Kaswa, where a certain member of parliament decided to shoot because she suspected people had come there who were not qualified to register in that particular area. That's it. I mean, meanwhile we have a process.
And we have to be realistic. Let's say if somebody lives in an area, where they can't access certain area, and it does happen in our country. Who are Ghanaians? They are living in remote areas, and you know that even the Electoral Commission, when they are conducting these elections, sometimes they delay in sending materials to certain areas because they have to
either
go
cross
behind
a river or something like that,
some hilly areas that they have to cross or get over, which is difficult, and so we have these delays.
So it's possible that you find a group of people coming as a group,
so we shouldn't
not necessarily organized by a certain political party.
Exactly. Okay. It could be by maybe members of that party, etc. We shouldn't behave as if we're ostriches. 2, when they say that people can't get access, this is one of them. And people can only get access if they are aided. Now, if the Electoral Commission at the start of this exercise said the parties were supposed to play complementary roles, either in education,
encourage people to register.
Exactly. So if I think I'm a member of parliament for Ashaiman, for example, and let's say Ashaiman was not in an area where it could be having people accessing the registration centers, I should be able to aid them on behalf of my party so that they go and register. Okay. How do I aid them? Do I give them money? Yes, if I give people in Ashaiman money to take car or lorries to the registration center, it is possible. But in rural areas,
Okay, so that's why I want to see exactly what they put their signatures to.
Yeah,
that's why I want to see what comes together.
So the political parties need to, and the MPP, they need to say this is the realistic situation, and this is what can be done, and this is what is done. Busing, I thought busing is taking people from Ashama constituency to, let's say, Kaswa. That's pure busing. Yeah. But if the people just live in areas within the constituency which will not enable them to access the registration centers, aiding them should be. Now, one last question. Is it possible that for people who live in such border areas, there will be a possibility citizens of neighboring countries will try to get access and then register? Yes, that is also a possibility. So we have to take a look at these realistically and say, look, this is the situation we face as a country. We're not in America.
So I like this analysis this morning because we're not jumping to conclusion and saying that, okay, yeah, we've seen this, so that's it means this. You get what I mean? It obviously means this. So we hope that it will open our minds, but we want to see exactly what they've signed and what that says. Let's spend the rest of the time on myjoyonline.com. Very interesting stories you find on myjoy. Gifty?
Gifty, defense and security.
I'm not sure it's working. So
it is working. It is working.
Gifty, go ahead. We're lucky.
Head of our security desk, Gifty Andwapia.
Okay. So I'll try and make it quick. You guys have said a lot of things. Mama B, you said exactly what's on my mind. What did the parties agree to? Exactly what did they agree to when they say they should, and how realistic was what they agreed to? They said that don't bus people. Like Roland is saying, busing in the sense, as we understand it, politically wrong and incorrect sense, is getting people from one constituency to go and register in another constituency. Although for me, I can still register here in Spintex, or I can go and register at Kokoblimle where I work, because I feel like on the day of voting, I won't be here. Or on the day of voting, I will be at work. So if it's about getting poor people an opportunity to register, poor people who do not want to spend their money on transportation to go and register and vote for a political party, and it's about helping them, I don't see anything wrong with it. But I think that whatever they agreed on is part of what is creating the confusion right now. So you agree that if you bring a bus, if you're an MPP and you bring a bus of people, NDC will stop you. If you're an NDC group and you bring a group of people, and the MPP will stop you. I mean, that's a recipe for chaos, and that's what we're seeing. And I particularly have a lot, and I think everybody has a lot of respect for our men in uniform. I think that this is not the time to bring them into some of these things. Unfortunately, we have borders. So whether we like it or not, they are there. Is there a way to do this in a more civilized way? What is it that the political parties agreed upon? In Banda, one young man died. Useless death. Can we just stop this and just prevent more people from dying? But can the people, if the people are being bused, when they get to the registration center, you have MPP has their reps, NDC too. There are other political parties, and they all have reps. Can't your reps make sure that the people who are registering are the right people? I mean, this shouldn't be beyond us in the 21st century.
Absolutely.
But here we are. Look at the people, the way they're even packed up. Coronavirus, that's not even right. To think about how they were kept there for so long amidst all this chaos. Can we just, I don't know. This should be really beyond beneath us. We should rise beyond this.
Absolutely. Let's do myjoyonline.com, Gifty. Let's just run through what's on our page on myjoyonline.com. Missing kilos, House state-owned produce buying companies flees cocoa buyers. The first part of this was shown yesterday. Watch out for the second part this evening here on the channel. UPSA Governing Council reappoints Professor Okoye Amate as Vice Chancellor. I should have squeezed them harder. Rollins, after allegedly squeezing Zidan's testicles. And this is one of the things that's generating a lot of conversations about Professor Ahoy's book. And that's gotten the former president to also react to that. Rawlings vows to deal with callous agenda of bile from the likes of Kwame Ahoy. That ain't good. Government requests parliamentary approval for $86 million loan to purchase armored vehicles from Israel. MPP NDC guilty of busing people to registration centers in Banda. COVID-19 forced businesses to reduce wages of over 770,000 people. Lots of stories on myjoyonline.com. Please spend time and, enjoy it. Well, arrest all persons present during lynching of 90-year-old woman at Kafaba. That's a call by Occupy Ghana. And Occupy Ghana has been very consistent with issues that happen in our country. They are absolutely there to comment on it and take a position, something that we don't see from the other entities that usually in the past would have done this. So big ups to Occupy Ghana for being consistent. You fail to appreciate the mandates of National Peace Council. Dr. Nana SKB Asante to critics, speaking to Parker Wilson, very not happy with the criticisms that come with the Peace Council. He says perhaps people who do that, they haven't even checked our mandates. They don't know what it is. All right, so lots of stories to keep you company on a holiday. Just go to myjoyonline.com. Well, we've got sports coming your way. This morning, we opened the show with Natty Ugly, who is a spoken word artist. He's got another one to share with us right after sports, so you don't want to miss it. We have conversations coming up. We've heard about how domestic violence is surging in this pandemic period because a lot of people are indoors. Schools are not open. Children are home. Young people are home. There are adults who also find themselves with their abusers. We've seen this update with Europe. Yesterday, there was Kenya with some calls coming in. But what's the Ghana situation? What are our own statistics around this pandemic? What's the domestic violence situation here in Ghana? We've got an update, a great conversation that will bring you with a woman who heads that division. And we would like for you to also share your concerns with us so we can point you to the right direction in terms of how to seek redress. We're talking breasts feeding this morning as well. And we have a mother. Last week, we started a conversation with young children with pediatricians. And one of the concerns that came up was if you are a breastfeeding mother and you test positive for COVID-19,